There's hardly a farm Dan and I go on that we can't see a cell phone tower or high tension power line right from the farm. And if you
Right.
can see it, you're close enough that you're getting zapped.
Yeah.
So, and
And
those are, what is it, ninefold increase or sevenfold increase in cell phone towers coming
right,
up?
over the last since 2020, tenfold increase
More
or something
solar
like that.
energy fields, more wind turbine fields, more
Yeah.
power lines. Everybody notices all the power lines going in.
Even the farmers who are rural with that you can't see the cell towers or power lines are seeing that. Steve Simpson put he was kind enough to give us a video testimonial. It's on our website. You can't see a cell tower from his farm. You can't even see a power line, just, other than just a small little transmission line that would be going to your home. He saw a dramatic shift in how his cows behaved and the fertility issues. So that happened within weeks of putting the conditioner on there. He was extremely skeptic, but he is he's a raw milk producer, and he was very skeptical. But within 5 weeks, he looked at his wife and said, "I think we're going to be able to keep the farm." So here was a farmer lifelong farmer, was actually considering selling and moving off the farm because he couldn't keep the cows healthy enough to, they weren't getting pregnant at the rate that they needed to or consistently, and he was going to have to sell. And within 5 weeks, he looked at his wife and said, "Hey, I think we're going to be able to keep this farm." And then not only did they get more consistent pregnancy and heats and all that, last summer, they brought in like about 30% more grass for their feed for the winter, so their costs for the winter were covered. So it was those are the things that I want to kind of share.
I mean, just what we saw with the cows deciding that they could now have calves again, it just made all the difference.
Yeah.
Been dairying for 48 years, my wife and I, and we've seen a lot of different things come and go, and we just stay away from basically modern technology because that's usually done by the experts, and the experts don't even know which end of the cow the milk comes out of. And so we kind of stay away from that as much as possible. And so anytime something on the farm doesn't seem like it's working quite right, we start looking at ourselves. What are we doing different? What did we change? Because it's kind of, we're secluded up here. We're away from pretty much all other influence. Mm-hmm. And so here about 2 years ago, all of a sudden it's like none of the cows would start back and have heat cycles after they had calves. And when they did have heat cycles, they wouldn't settle with calf. And we're just like, we're going through everything that we normally do, and it's just, what did we change? Something's different, and we couldn't put a finger on anything. And then Darren started talking to me about this grounding out the electromagnetism, and I guess I still didn't jump at the opportunity as quick as I should have until he finally decided, I'm going to come out and set one up and see what happens. Took I would say it was about a month before I started to see things happen. And after you set that up, we had a couple cows that had calves 2 weeks, 3 weeks after it got installed. And those cows started having cycles 10 days, 2 weeks after they had calves, which is pretty normal. We had cows that were going 4 and 5 months before they would ever start having cycles again. And the conception rate was terrible. I mean, we were probably 25% at best, and that was never on the first try through. It was third and fourth time. The change was so quick. I mean, and we didn't change anything else. We brought the conditioner out and set it up, and we just said, well, we'll just continue as and see if anything changes. This one here is one that's, that was the biggest thing. I mean, we saw some other little things like the taste of the water coming out of the faucet was different. It tasted cleaner and sweeter. we had two particular cows. We take for our own house use, and we'll milk the cow right into a pail, then put it in jars and take it to the house rather than dip it out of the tank. We had a couple of them. If you took their milk, it had a different flavor about it. Me, I can't taste flavors real good, but there's other members of the family that says, what's wrong with the milk? You know? Well, we've tried both of them again since, now that the conditioner's there, and they can't tell any difference. It did something. Changed the flavor of that milk. But yeah, that was the biggest, you know, I'm kind of interested to see what happens next year with the crops. And we haven't had hardly any birds around here for a couple of years. It's just like no bluebirds and only a few robins. And I don't know if you guys have noticed, but when the geese are flying, their formation is all fouled up, and there'll be some going this way and some will be going that way. And they used to just honk, 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 honk the whole time. Now you hardly ever hear them. Maybe I'm just going deaf. But they're all confused. You can tell that. Their formations are fouled up and they're going different directions. And it's like, what's going on? And so, but this has really kind of opened our eyes and has given us an opportunity to put this thing in place. And we were kind of worried about how much longer we were going to be able to keep dairying. I mean, if you can't get the cows to have calves again, they taper off, dry up, and well, that's the end of the show. But now everything seems to be working back near normal again, and we're real encouraged by it. And I realize that all the healing doesn't take place immediately, but my wife says that she definitely sleeps far better than she has before. Now, I'm a home person, always have been, until we started doing raw milk 10 years ago. And so I got 2 milk runs a week to make. You know, I'm in the tune of 150, 160,000 miles in the last 10 years delivering milk, and that's completely out of normal for me. And so I have troubles the night before my milk run sleeping well, but the rest of the time doing much better. And both of our kids that are still at home said they both sleep better. And so we're still weeding it out, and healing is still taking place. But yeah, my wife says her energy level is much better than it was. I thought she was running circles around me before, but now it's like if I catch a glimpse of her heading in the over the horizon, I'm almost caught up. I mean, just what we saw with the cows deciding that they could now have calves again, it just made all the difference. Yeah, it's just been a noticeable difference, and it happened quickly.
Yeah.
That was what was really surprised me. It's like, honey, we didn't change anything else. You know, that conditioner's been down there for 3 weeks or a month, and these 2-3 cows that have calved have already started having heat cycles again. And I says, it's making a better farmer out of me. Now those things I've been doing all these years and they weren't working anymore are starting to work again. So